There's a quiet moment in the morning when the world is still, the air is cool, and you're just waking up. For many of us over 50, that moment can be interrupted by a familiar ache. The stiffness in the knees, the soreness in the hands, the creak of joints that once moved without a thought. What if I told you that in those first minutes of your day, you hold a powerful opportunity not only to ease that pain, but to set the tone for a more vibrant, mobile, and joyful life? I'm Dr. Brian, and welcome to Channel Wellness Blueprint Over 50. Today, I want to share with you three simple, natural morning drinks that can help reduce joint pain and inflammation. They're gentle, affordable, and supported by both tradition and science. Think of them as small daily rituals that nurture your body from the inside out. I'll never forget one of my patients, Margaret. She was 72, a retired teacher who loved gardening. But when she came to see me, she said something that stuck with me. Dr. Brian, I feel like my joints have turned into rusty hinges. Every morning, her knees and hands would lock up, and it would take nearly an hour before she could move without wincing. She had tried pain relievers, heating pads, even different shoes, but what she longed for was something gentle, natural, and safe. That's when I introduced her to the simple ritual of starting her day with warm lemon water infused with turmeric. Within a few weeks, Margaret returned with a smile, telling me she could finally tend to her roses without groaning at every step. Now let me explain why this golden drink makes such a difference. Imagine your joints as door hinges. Over time, friction, inflammation, and wear cause them to squeak, grind, and stiffen. The warmth of lemon water acts like a gentle oil, helping to loosen and wake up those hinges first thing in the morning. Warm water itself increases circulation, which means more oxygen and nutrients get carried to your sore joints, much like a delivery truck arriving with the supplies your body needs for repair. Then comes the turmeric, a spice as old as history, long treasured in Indian and Asian traditions. Its secret weapon is a compound called curcumin. I don't want you to think of curcumin as just a chemical. Picture it as a tiny firefighter sliding down the pole, rushing into the inflamed tissues and dousing the flames of swelling and stiffness. Modern science supports this image. A study published in the journal Arthritis Research and Therapy found that curcumin supplements reduce joint pain and improve mobility in people with knee osteoarthritis, sometimes as effectively as certain pain medications, but without the same side effects. That's powerful evidence for something so humble. But here's where lemon steps in. Curcumin on its own doesn't absorb well in the body. It's like trying to water your garden with a hose that's kinked. The vitamin C in lemon helps untwist that hose, boosting absorption and ensuring your body actually gets to use this anti-inflammatory gift. And if you add just a pinch of black pepper, you're supercharging it even more. Black pepper contains piperine, a natural compound that can increase curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. Suddenly, your morning cup becomes a turbo-boosted, anti-inflammatory elixir. Let me share something else Margaret said after she stuck with this drink. It feels like I'm not fighting against my body anymore. It's like I'm working with it. That's the beauty of warm lemon and turmeric water. It doesn't shock the body. It supports it, nurtures it, and the benefits extend beyond just joint pain relief. Lemon water gently supports detoxification. Imagine your body as a busy kitchen. Overnight, dishes pile up, scraps accumulate, and by morning it feels cluttered. Lemon water acts like that first rinse, clearing away toxins and waste so your system runs smoother. Hydration also plays a huge role in joint comfort. Cartilage, the cushiony material between bones, is like a sponge. When you're well hydrated, it's plump and protective. When you're dehydrated, it's brittle and painful, much like a dry sponge that cracks when bent. Starting your day with this drink ensures your sponges are hydrated from the very first moment. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Dr. Brian, this sounds great, but I've tried natural remedies before and didn't feel anything. And that's fair. The truth about natural healing is that it works gently and gradually. You may not notice a miracle overnight, but day after day it builds. Margaret didn't feel much the first week, but by the third week, she realized she was walking her dog without wincing every few steps. Consistency is the real secret here. Practical steps: keep it simple. Squeeze half a lemon into a cup of warm, not boiling, water. Stir in half a teaspoon of turmeric powder. If you want the full effect, add that tiny pinch of black pepper. Drink it slowly before breakfast and give your body a moment to appreciate the warmth. One small caution: turmeric can stain, so use a spoon instead of your fingers to stir and rinse your cup afterward. It's a tiny inconvenience for something that can bring so much relief. Think of this drink as more than just a recipe. It's a morning ritual, a quiet message you send to your body. I care for you, I support you, I want you to move with ease today. Every sip is both nourishment and reassurance. And with time, you may find, as Margaret did, that those rusty hinges start to move freely again. Your mornings feel lighter, and your body thanks you for this gentle act of love. There's another patient I often think about when I talk about fenugreek. His name was Harold, a 68-year-old former mechanic. He came into my office with swollen hands and stiff fingers. He told me, "Doc, I can fix any engine, but I can't even open a jar for my wife anymore." His voice carried a quiet frustration, the kind that seeps into daily life when pain robs you of independence. Harold had tried over-the-counter painkillers, but they upset his stomach. What he wanted was relief that didn't come with a long list of warnings on the bottle. That's when I suggested something ancient but often overlooked: soaked fenugreek seeds water. To understand why this works, let's look inside those tiny amber seeds. At first glance, they're nothing special, just small, hard little nuggets. But when you soak them overnight, something magical happens. The seeds swell, soften, and release compounds into the water, almost like tea leaves unfurling. That water becomes infused with powerful plant chemicals that our bodies can use to fight inflammation and restore balance. One of the standout compounds in fenugreek is diosgenin, which behaves a bit like a plant-based steroid. Think of it as nature's gentle alternative to the heavy pharmaceutical steroids doctors sometimes prescribe for inflammation. Diosgenin helps quiet the immune system's overreaction that leads to swelling, stiffness, and pain in the joints. Fenugreek is also rich in antioxidants, which I like to describe as the body's cleanup crew. Every day our cells create waste products, like smoke from a fire, that if left unchecked can damage tissues and accelerate aging. Antioxidants sweep up this smoke, reducing the wear and tear that makes arthritis worse over time. There's more. Fenugreek also supports digestion and blood sugar balance. Now you might be asking, what does digestion have to do with my aching knees? Quite a lot, actually. When digestion is sluggish, toxins can build up, fueling inflammation throughout the body. And when blood sugar spikes and crashes, it sets off chemical reactions that inflame tissues, including your joints. By smoothing out these processes, fenugreek strikes at the root of inflammation, not just the symptoms. Harold was skeptical at first. He chuckled when I suggested soaking a spoonful of seeds in water overnight. "Doc, that sounds too easy." But he promised to give it a try. 3 weeks later, he walked into my office with a grin I hadn't seen before. He held up a pickle jar and said, "Guess who can open this now?" The swelling in his hands had gone down, his grip was stronger, and he felt more confident in his daily tasks. It wasn't a miracle. It was a slow, steady change, built day by day with this simple drink. Preparing it is straightforward. Each evening, place about a tablespoon of fenugreek seeds in a glass of water. Let them soak overnight. In the morning, strain the seeds and drink the water on an empty stomach. If you don't mind the taste, you can chew the softened seeds themselves. Some people add a touch of honey to the water if the flavor is too bitter. The key is consistency. Like tending a garden, the benefits grow over time as your body incorporates these natural compounds. Now, a word of wisdom: fenugreek is gentle and safe for most people. But if you're pregnant, breastfeeding, or taking medications, it's always best to check with your healthcare provider first. Safety matters. For those who can use it, though, it's a remarkably accessible and affordable remedy. Think of fenugreek water as a way of pressing the reset button on your joints each morning. Hydration lubricates the cartilage. The anti-inflammatory compounds calm the storm inside, and the antioxidants shield your tissues from further harm. It's a triple benefit packed into one simple glass. Harold told me it made him feel like he was regaining control, not just over his pain, but over his life. That's the deeper gift of remedies like this. They don't just soothe the body, They restore dignity, independence, and hope. So when you sip that golden water in the morning, imagine it washing through your joints, cooling the heat of inflammation, and gently clearing out what doesn't serve you. Over time, you may notice less swelling, easier movement, and a stronger sense of possibility in your daily routines. Small, consistent choices like this can open the door to bigger freedoms, like fixing an engine again, or simply opening a jar for someone you love. Some remedies feel almost like a hug in a cup, and ginger and honey tea is one of them. I remember a patient named Ellen, 64 years old, who came to see me during a particularly cold winter. She wrapped her hands around a cup of coffee in my office and whispered, "Dr. Brian, my joints feel like ice. Every morning it's a battle just to get dressed." She wasn't looking for another prescription. She wanted something soothing, something that could become part of her daily rhythm. I introduced her to ginger and honey tea. A month later, Ellen told me she had started every day with that warm cup, and not only were her joints more comfortable, but she also felt calmer, more centered, like she was reclaiming a gentle ritual of self-care. Why does this tea work so beautifully? Ginger is one of nature's most potent anti-inflammatory agents. Inside this humble root are compounds called gingerols and shogalls, which act almost like gatekeepers. In the body, pain and swelling are triggered by pathways, signals that shout, inflammation, swell up, hurt. Gingerols quietly step in and turn down the volume of those signals. The result? Less swelling, less pain, and a body that feels calmer. Think of ginger as the wise friend who helps de-escalate an argument before it turns into a shouting match. Science backs this up. A study published in the journal Arthritis and Rheumatism found that ginger extract significantly reduced knee pain in people with osteoarthritis. Another review in the Journal of Medicinal Food highlighted ginger's ability to improve both pain and mobility without the side effects common to many pain medications. For people over 50 who may already be juggling multiple prescriptions, that's no small thing. Then comes honey, which isn't just a sweetener, it's a healer in its own right. Honey contains natural antioxidants and antibacterial properties. It soothes the digestive tract, supports the immune system, and provides a gentle energy lift without the crash of refined sugar. In combination with ginger, honey doesn't just make the tea taste better. It amplifies the soothing effect. Picture it this way. Ginger is the powerful violin, strong and commanding, while honey is the soft piano accompaniment that balances the music, making the whole piece harmonious. The warmth of the tea itself plays a role too. Warmth relaxes muscles, dilates blood vessels, and improves circulation. It's like opening the windows in a stuffy room, allowing fresh air to flow in. Better circulation means your joints receive more oxygen and nutrients, and waste products that fuel inflammation are carried away more efficiently. That's why Ellen described her morning tea as melting the ice in her joints. It was literally warming her from the inside out. Making this tea is simple. Boil about a cup of water, slice 1 to 2 inches of fresh ginger root, and let it simmer for 10 minutes. Strain the liquid into your favorite mug and stir in a teaspoon of raw honey while it's still warm, but not boiling. This preserves the honey's delicate nutrients. You can add a squeeze of lemon for extra vitamin C, or even a sprinkle of cinnamon, another spice with anti-inflammatory power. Some people like to prepare a larger batch and keep it in the fridge, reheating a cup each morning. One caution, ginger can be strong for sensitive stomachs, so start with smaller amounts and build up. And if you're taking blood-thinning medications, check with your doctor before adding large amounts of ginger to your daily routine. Safety, as always, is the foundation of healing. Ellen told me something profound after a few weeks of this ritual. She said, "Dr. Brian, it's not just about the tea, it's about giving myself 10 quiet minutes in the morning to breathe, sip slowly, and feel like I'm caring for myself instead of rushing into another stressful day." That's the hidden power of ginger and honey tea. It's not only a tool for joint pain relief, it's a moment of mindfulness, a daily act of kindness to yourself. Over time, you may notice less stiffness in your knees, easier steps on the stairs, and a greater sense of comfort throughout the day. But perhaps just as importantly, you may notice a lighter mood, steadier energy, and a feeling of being more connected to your body. That's what natural remedies often give us. Not just symptom relief, but a deeper sense of wholeness. So when you sip this golden tea in the morning, imagine its warmth flowing through your joints like sunlight breaking through clouds, easing the shadows of pain and inviting in a new day filled with possibility. So here we are, at the end of our journey together. Three simple morning drinks: warm lemon water with turmeric, soaked fenugreek seed water, and ginger with honey tea, each one a gentle ally in your daily fight against inflammation and joint pain. They're not just recipes, they're rituals, small choices that whisper to your body, I care for you. If you give them time and consistency, they can open doors to greater comfort, mobility, and joy. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Dr. Brian. If this touched you, please like, subscribe, and share. You deserve a life of ease.